Welcome to the Stories on Coins channel. Have you heard about the treasures of the Maltese Knights? Why has a small island in the middle of the Mediterranean remained unconquered for centuries, even when attacked by armies far outnumbering its defenders? Who was the first to use surgical tools on the battlefield, laying the foundation for modern medicine? And how did the symbol of this island become the primary talisman and distinguishing mark of one of the most mysterious and influential organizations in human history? Get comfortable, because through our story, this coin will speak and reveal what is usually hidden behind dry dates. Today, we're not just looking at metal, we're uncovering the history it holds and why it still sparks debates. Let's start with the symbol you see on the obverse of this coin. You've likely already recognized it, the famous Maltese cross. But what does it truly mean, and why is it so important to this tiny island nation? First, let's take a closer look at the coin itself. This is a Maltese €2 coin, issued in 2008 when Malta transitioned to the Eurozone currency. It's made of two metals. The inner part is yellow, crafted from a copper, zinc, and nickel alloy, while the outer ring is white, made from a copper-nickel alloy. On the obverse, at the center, is the iconic 8-pointed Maltese cross. Above it, the word Malta is engraved, and below, the year of issue, 2008. This cross is not just a symbol, it's a mark of history that began nearly 1,000 years ago. In the 11th century, a group of Benedictine monks founded a hospital in Jerusalem to care for pilgrims making the long and perilous journey to the Holy Land. These were the Knights Hospitaliers, also known as the Knights of the Order of St. John. Their creed was simple, yet revolutionary for the time: to care for the sick, the wounded, and the needy. Their primary symbol was the 8-pointed white cross, with each point representing the 8 Beatitudes from the Sermon on the Mount, as well as the 8 langues or nations from which the Knights originated. This seemingly charitable order, over the centuries, transformed into a formidable military force. They were forced to adapt when Jerusalem fell. Their journey was long and filled with losses. First, they settled in Cyprus, then on Rhodes. But they were driven out from there too, under pressure from the Ottoman Empire. In 1530, Emperor Charles V of the Holy Roman Empire granted them the small but strategically vital island of Malta. Thus, the Knights Hospitaliers became known as the Maltese Knights.
The siege that changed history, the Great Feat of 1565. It was on Malta in 1565 that one of the most epic sieges in history took place. Suleiman the Magnificent, the powerful Sultan of the Ottoman Empire, sent a fleet and army vastly outnumbering the Knights' forces. Just 600 knights and a few thousand Maltese militia faced nearly 40,000 Ottoman soldiers. The outcome seemed inevitable, but Grand Master Jean de la Valette, whose name later inspired the city of Valletta, rallied his people to an extraordinary resistance. Picture this: a scorching summer, sun-baked fortress walls, the whistle of arrows and cannonballs smashing into defenses. Every day, the Knights and Islanders repelled multiple attacks. They fought to the last. And here we return to our starting point. What was their greatest weapon? Not just swords and muskets. It was their unity, their faith, and their medical expertise. Yes, the same skills they honed in Jerusalem. Their hospital on Malta was considered the best in Europe. They performed surgeries and used advanced techniques for the time. As a result, many wounded survived and returned to the fight. Medicine and valor went hand in hand. And when the siege reached its peak, when the Knights' strength was nearly exhausted, the Ottomans, having lost tens of thousands of men, were forced to retreat. Malta was saved, and all of Europe breathed a sigh of relief. This feat turned the Maltese Knights into true heroes. Their cross became a symbol of unyielding faith and courage. It became part of Malta's national identity, so it's no surprise that it was chosen for the first series of Maltese euro coins. It's like the nation's DNA imprinted on the metal.
7 secrets hidden behind the cross. But did you know that behind this heroic history lie countless mysteries and legends? Stories whispered in the ancient taverns of Valletta and passed down through generations. Let's peek behind the curtain and uncover the secrets of the Maltese Order. 1. Secret tunnels under Valletta. This is one of the most famous legends, and intriguingly, it has a basis in reality. Valletta is a fortress city, built on a rocky peninsula. Grand Master Jean de la Valette ordered its construction from scratch after the Great Siege of 1565. The order's engineers and architects didn't just build a city, they created a military stronghold. Beneath its streets, palaces, and churches lies a complex system of underground passages. These tunnels were used not only to move troops during potential sieges, but also as storage for gunpowder, provisions, and, according to legend, treasures. Access was strictly limited, and only trusted members of the order knew the layout of these labyrinths. Some tunnels have been discovered and open to the public, but many believe the deepest, most secret passages leading to hidden hoards remain undiscovered. These catacombs are now an integral part of Maltese mythology, with researchers and treasure hunters still trying to unravel their secrets. 2. The Mystery of St. John's Tomb. The order is officially named the Sovereign Military Hospitaller Order of St. John of Jerusalem, of Rhodes, and of Malta. This lengthy title underscores their connection to their first patron, John the Baptist. From their founding in Jerusalem, the Knights carefully preserved relics associated with him. When forced to leave the Holy Land and later Rhodes, they reportedly took with them not only Christian relics but also the sarcophagus or remains of John. Legend claims that the true location of this tomb remains a closely guarded secret. While its official whereabouts are unknown, many believe it lies in a Maltese crypt or a hidden location accessible only to the order's highest ranks. This mystery highlights their role not only as defenders of the faith, but also as keepers of sacred relics, lending them a mystical aura. 3. The hidden power of alchemy and secret knowledge. The Maltese Order was more than a group of warrior knights. Its ranks included scholars, theologians, astronomers, and even alchemists. In the Middle Ages and Renaissance, alchemy was considered a legitimate science, a precursor to chemistry. Legends about the order's alchemical prowess gained traction in the 18th century. It was believed that the knights possessed knowledge of creating the elixir of life or the philosopher's stone. While there's no direct evidence they turned lead into gold, their advanced expertise in medicine, engineering, and science far surpassed that of their contemporaries. Their hospital in Valletta, for instance, was among Europe's most advanced, reinforcing belief in their secret power.
The strange connection to the Templars. This is one of the most intriguing connections. The Templars and Hospitalizers were the two largest and most influential knightly orders during the Crusades. Though often rivals, their goals were similar. When Pope Clement V dissolved the Templar Order in 1312, many surviving Templars were left homeless and vulnerable. Rumors suggest some joined the Hospitalizers. This legend gave rise to the theory that the Hospitalizers inherited part of the Templars' wealth, and more importantly, their secret knowledge and rituals. This might explain why the Maltese cross, the Hospitalizers' symbol, is often linked to ancient mysteries. Some theories connect it to Templar maps allegedly pointing to treasure locations. Though no direct evidence exists, this connection remains a popular topic among historians and mystery enthusiasts. A sovereign state without territory. This is no legend, but a fascinating reality. Today, the Sovereign Military Hospitalizer Order of St. John of Jerusalem, of Rhodes, and of Malta is a unique entity in international law. It holds observer status at the UN, maintains embassies in over 100 countries, and issues its own passports, stamps, and even coins,
though not legal tender. The order owns no territory, except its extraterritorial residences in Rome, the Villa of the Maltese Order and the Magisterial Palace. These buildings are considered foreign territory, effectively making them independent states within a state. This phenomenon underscores the order's historical status as a sovereign entity, its influence rooted not in land, but in its centuries-long history and charitable work. The legend of the Grand Master's gold. This is perhaps the most famous and tantalizing tale for treasure hunters. Over the nearly 270 years that the Knights ruled Malta, they amassed immense wealth. Gifts from European monarchs, profits from maritime trade, and spoils from Ottoman pirates. When Napoleon Bonaparte arrived in Malta in 1798, the Knights, caught off guard, offered little resistance. Legend says that before surrendering, the last Grand Master, Ferdinand Hampesch Zubolheim, ordered the most valuable treasures hidden. Some gold, jewels, and sacred relics were allegedly concealed in Valletta's underground tunnels, while others were sealed within fortress walls. Possible locations include a vault beneath St. John's Co-Cathedral, where many Grand Masters and Knights are buried, believed to house a hidden treasury. Secret passages in Fort St. Elmo, a stronghold defended during the Great Siege, with unexplored corridors rumored to hold the legendary hoard. Many treasure hunters have searched for this gold, but none have succeeded. Perhaps it's so well hidden that only future generations will uncover it.
7. The Legend of the Book of Treasures. This legend is even more mysterious, tying the Order's treasures to mysticism. According to tradition, the Knights possessed a Book of Treasures, a secret manuscript detailing the locations of not only material wealth, but also ancient relics brought from Jerusalem and Rhodes. What this book allegedly contained: a map to Templar treasures, suggesting the Order inherited the Templars' riches and secrets. Details of the Philosopher's Stone, hinting at the Knights' alchemical pursuits. Locations of sacred relics, such as the hand of John the Baptist. This book of treasures likely doesn't exist in physical form, but serves as a metaphor for the Order's secret knowledge and power. Perhaps the greatest treasure is not gold, but knowledge itself. See what lies behind this 8-pointed cross? Not just valor and mercy, but true, almost mystical secrets that still captivate imaginations. This coin you hold is more than a means of payment. It's a small metallic monument to a grand history, a story that began with monk healers and led to a tiny island standing against the mightiest empire of its time. Collectors value these coins not only for their history, but also because they're among the first series of Maltese euros. The mint isn't indicated on the coin, but it's known they were struck in Paris. This makes them a historical document, evidence of how Malta, heir to ancient knightly traditions, joined modern Europe. Ironically, or perhaps fittingly, its primary emblem is a cross that symbolizes not only war but peace, not only strength but mercy. So the next time you see this cross, know that it's more than a symbol. It's a legend. And that legend is what this coin preserves.